Hi, and welcome to this video. This is my third one. I guess that means I'm doing all right.
I mean, you're here and you get to do the introduction.
All right. So, to introduce this video, we're going to talk a little bit about our healing journey. So, early on in our marriage, Krista always knew she wanted to go to some kind of counseling. So, about a month into that, our counselor actually said, hey, it'd be great if your spouse, aka me, could come along. That would significantly progress your path through this healing journey. So I jumped on board, and that was an incredibly humbling experience because if you think about it, we're all a little bit broken, and we all do need a little extra help sometimes. So in that note, we're actually going to talk about some things that irritate us about each other.
We may or may not have an argument, or I might regret him being here for the third episode. We'll see.
Probably not.
No, I'm just kidding. A lot of what we have to talk about today are things that we have healed a big chunk of it already. And that's the thing with counseling. There is no end date to healing. So you may heal something to an extent, and then in a few years later, you might heal even more of it because you weren't ready at the first time that you healed it. So we have some here that are still topics and conversations we have that still irritate us about each other,
Yes.
but it's not as intense as it was at the beginning.
Right.
All right, the first thing that really drives me nuts about Mike is when I have to repeat myself with requests to do things or get things done.
Right. So that's a good one. We all have a laundry list of things to do, aka those honeydews, right?
Right.
And when I think about how many times I go through that list and how many times she's had to repeat herself on the things that she would like me to do, it's really, when I get to the root of it, it is really not thinking about her and really not caring about her.
Yeah. Second one, it drives me nuts how you don't keep up with the cleaning schedule.
Right. So again, when I look at this one, it really is driving into the root of not caring for myself, not caring for this family, and really not taking ownership of where we live, this space that we call home. So I work downstairs in a home office, and I try to keep it as clean as I can, right? And if I come into this house and this is her workspace and I disrespect that, is that really thinking of her and thinking of this family? No, not really.
I think that was a big moment for Mike when he realized, oh, yeah, you stay home. And he's always been very respectful of, I stay home, I take care of the boys. But he never really thought of like the home being an office. And for him, that little switch was like, oh my goodness, I am such a jerk. I can't believe I'm not being respectful of your office. So that was a big one.
Right.
Definitely. All right. Oh, that's your turn.
Oh, right. Perfect.
Sorry.
Moving on to things that irritate me. The amount of order that you have.
Yeah. I would say I'm very routine, scheduled person, hence I was a teacher, and I found that it's successful. But through having so much order and routine, I found that I was making all of the choices for this family, that I became the leader of this family, and it was exhausting. It was so much on my shoulders that I just couldn't take. And for me, the moment I realized that that wasn't good and okay was when I actually had to be at one of the lowest points in my life. I feel like I've been in a million low points, but the most recent low point when I literally felt like I couldn't get out of bed. And through those moments of relinquishing routine and control, Mike had to step in and he had to figure it out himself. He had to create the routine and order. And in those moments, he actually shined and became so much more of a partner and really took more ownership of this family.
Right. That's great. And the second one that I have for you is how controlling you've been.
Oh, yeah. At the beginning of our marriage, even our relationship, I've been a very controlling person. I'm a type A person. But what I've learned is that my anxiety is actually what is dictating my control, what is dictating my life. Because for me, coping with anxiety and stress, I cope by controlling things. I cope by putting everything in a little neat little box, beautiful there. And through my healing, I've learned that anxiety should not have a hold of me, and that ultimately it's not up to me. And I've learned through a lot of my healing that I need to let it go. Let it go, not a big deal. And also, I've released so much anxiety that in turn, it's helped me become less controlling.
Right. So when we think about these things that irritate us through the healing process, we've learned one simple question that we ask ourselves: why? To get to the root of things. Why does this irritate us so much about the other person? And that really helps us get to the root of things.
So I encourage this week for you to do the same thing. I encourage you to make a list. Now set yourself up for success, not for failure. So if you feel like doing what we just did is going to cause a huge World War III in your home, do not do it, okay? I'm not telling you to sit here and go deep if you don't have the tools. That's just pure chaos. What I do encourage you to do is to make a list of all the things that might irritate you about somebody. Why do they irritate you? So I want you to think of it as digging. So why? Every time you put your shovel in the dirt, think why. Why does it bother me? The dishes, for example. Why it bothers me? Well, why does it bother me? Because Mike uses way too many dishes. He doesn't do it the way I would do it. So my controlling gets in the way. Why is my controlling getting in the way? Well, I like to have an orderly, clean home. And when he doesn't put the dishes away, it shows that he isn't respecting me or that he doesn't care. Why do I feel like that? Well, because ultimately it's my anxiety driving me through it, and I need to let it go and not look in that direction. So right there I gave you an example of kind of how I went, and just keep going deeper and deeper until you literally have nothing. Usually the indication that you have gone as deep as you can is you end up crying or you feel complete release and clarity.
Right.
And I think that's the most beautiful thing. That is a reward in itself, with that moment of clarity. Now, I really hope you do these things, and I can't wait to talk to you later this week on our Zoom, and we will see you next time.